but it wasn't just Lionel Messi. It was also Julian Alvarez. I'll come to you first, Nigel, because you've covered him, obviously coming through the ranks and making his move over to Manchester City. This guy just continues to score goals. He has scored in 6 of his 8 starts for Argentina, with 4 of the goals coming in this competition, and he is becoming a key figure to Argentina's success, especially when it comes to the knockout stages. He was also kind of looking a little bit like he was banged up in the second half, but my oh my, I want to know from you about his performance individually, Julian Alvarez, but also what changed in the game? Because you mentioned, for 20 minutes, there wasn't even a shot in this game, and then that opening goal completely flicked the switch, and we saw pretty much Argentina at their best.
Yeah, I think for me with Alvarez, Ian, he's a fantastic player. And there's a reason why Pep Guardiola went after him and why he's at Manchester City. He is a Pep type of player, high energy. We always say this, and for people listening who don't know, when you talk about defending starts from the front. That's what Alvarez does. The youth and enthusiasm that he has, he works so hard for Argentina. Running back, tracking back when losing possession. There was one point in the game where he carried the ball nearly the length of the pitch, lost it, and ran backtracked and fouled Modric without getting booked. That just shows the little small intangibles that's needed. But what he does and what he brings to this Argentina is just a fresh energy. And let's not just talk about him running around like a headless chicken. No, he doesn't do that. He runs with a purpose, and he's got the quality to finish. And his finishing is getting better and better. From seeing him when he was at River Plate to where he's at now at Manchester City, you can start to see now the development that's happening with this young player. And that's what happens when you move to bigger clubs and play with better quality players, without no disrespect to River Plate. When you play with top players, you learn, and you can see his enthusiasm to learn. I think it's absolutely sensational. I think he's going to get better and better with age and experience. And the one question I want to pose to you guys also, do you think that Alvarez is the best striking partner that Lionel Messi has played with throughout his entire career at the Argentinian international level, and why?
Good job.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm gonna stick first. I'm gonna talk a little bit about his movement. I just love the way he moves. He knows exactly the timing and the awareness of the space is just fantastic. Exactly the perfect moment to use the space that is free. I mean, you can see in the penalty where he's onside. The Lovren just probably is a matter of judgment a little bit, but he's onside. The speed is perfect of that fantastic ball from the middle of the park, and then in the third goal, in his second goal, you can see the understanding what he needs to be. He's a center forward. So normally center forward trying to find his space inside the box. He's right there. He knows the only chance that Messi is going to make him arrive the ball is that small spot between the near post in the out in the box. How it's called? 6-yard box. Yeah, it's 6-yard box. That's the only spot you can receive because there's so many people there. The only way to put across is right there. And he's there waiting that ball. That awareness of the space is just magnificent. I love it. And I want to give a shout out to Scaloni because he saw it. He saw it very quick during the tournament. Lautaro, he was the main striker. We've seen during the qualification, we've seen that he was the main target, the main player here up front with Lionel Messi. And he realized that, listen, no. I have to use this kid because of that intensity that you are talking, because of that football awareness and intelligence that he's got from, because helps Lionel Messi don't move. We've seen Lionel Messi just walking, and he's doing the job for both of them. The job that two players are doing up front, he's doing for both of them. So I think that is a fantastic credit that we have to give to Scaloni to show that in just right on time to arrive to today's game. That, again, is a performance of the whole squad, of the whole team, because you cannot point a player to say, no, he wasn't average. No. All of them, they perform at the highest level. The intensity at the back, the pressure that they put in every single play of Croatia, even though that you guys are talking in the first 20 minutes, they were a little bit dominated. Yeah, but no shot on target. No one even created a chance. They knew what they were doing, and they knew that they would have a chance. So, wow, I have to clap, and I enjoy very much that performance.
I think that's well said, Lucho. I really enjoy this balance. The word balance is what I think of when I think of strike partnerships in the Premier League. Both of you playing in the Premier League. Think of some of the best partnerships in Premier League history. There's a balance. Lionel Messi, he will play as that withdrawn of the front two. if he's going to come down, and there was a tactical adjustment to this game that I saw from the onset. It was Lionel Messi dropping deep in the midfield. In the previous games, he was staying higher on the line, playing more like a center forward, sometimes like an attacking midfielder, but mostly as a second striker. In this game, an out-and-out attacking mid, dropping deep. What does that do? It sucks out the likes of Guardiola. I thought this was a difficult task for the Croatian center back, who has been immaculate throughout this tournament. And he got a lesson in world-class striking by Lionel Messi and that interchange and partnership between he and Julian Alvarez. What that does is when you commit a center back out, you have to give attention to Messi. It sucks out the Croatian midfield, and it creates space for the speed, the pace, and the running of Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez, he's a runner. He recognizes what he needs to do. When you're playing with Lionel Messi, you need to move off the ball. Messi will find you. Molina showed it on the first goal against the Dutch. Messi has eyes in the back of his head. He is that special. He's a genius. We know that. He needs people he can find in the final third. And I think that is what makes this kid, for such a young talent, that's what makes him special. Yes, the goal scoring is there, but his ability to recognize how to exploit space, that is what makes him world-class and on the cusp. If he's not already world-class, he's on the cusp of that at a very young age, playing at this World Cup. For the Argentine setup, going a 4-4-2, I thought that was brilliant because Croatia's strength is in their midfield. You have 4 ball winners. Each of those midfielders, they're going to work tirelessly, and you have attacking players and attacking pieces who can come in once the job is done to finish out the game. Scaloni deserves full credit for how he managed this one. I thought that he outcoached his adversary.
Mike, you've made about 8 points in one comment right there. Great job on that one. That's a record for this show. Go ahead, Nigel.
Ian, they both haven't answered my question still, though. Do you know what I mean? It's a great
I'll
point.
answer. I'll go ahead and answer it. I'll answer it.
Go on, then.
I'll answer it. I think it's too early to tell. You look at some of the players.
They play some games together. I mean, totally
you look at some of the players that Messi has played with, right?
I think personally, I'm going to go in. I think that for me, it works. It's the best one, and it's the points that you both made. Messi takes very intelligent footballing positions on the pitch because he knows how much of a threat he is. Teams are going to be worried about Lionel Messi regardless. He uses great football intelligence, but when he does that, he needs the players around him to see what he's doing and be intelligent with their movement and runs.
Nigel,
well.
do you not think he's also teaching him that as well? Because he's getting the best out of himself, but also for the kid, he's getting the best out of the kid, teaching him.
This is my point, Ian, and this is something that we can all relate to and be realistic about. The reason why I think it's the best partnership that they've had, not just because of what they're doing now and what we're seeing. Alvarez is a young kid coming through. Lionel Messi could be one of his idols. There's a great enthusiasm and thirst and love for Lionel Messi, but also to want to learn and play alongside Lionel Messi. When you look at the other players that Lionel Messi's played with, whether they're his age or they were older than him, he was coming through. Let's be real. We've been in a lot of dressing rooms. There's probably jealousy and arrogance and selfishness and probably a big bit of jealousy in the fact of Lionel Messi's the superstar and you might be a senior player, but you're not going to run and move for him, which is what was needed back then. You needed to put him in a team dynamic. So I think there was a lot of selfishness with other strikers that he played with who aren't as enthusiastic as Alvarez, who aren't going to willing to make 4 or 5 runs and not get the ball. So that is why they were stagnant. That's why I think this is the perfect partnership where you've got a young player willing to make those runs, willing to make those movements, because Lionel Messi is probably one of his idols who there's a great respect between the two. And that's why I find that this is probably the better partnership. And the reason why I add to that is what Michael said is Scaloni deserves credit because he's got the great balance of youth and experience. He's gone with youth, high energy at the start, and he's got the luxury to bring on experienced players on to maybe be able to see a game out.
Yeah, definitely, Nigel. I was giving the credit because a manager is not there just to get the 25, 26 players and then make the 11. See, is to realize what the team needs. It's what the players that he picked are going to be used. I mean, we've seen today Dybala for a few minutes. Try to understand what is needed in every single game. And I think he realized that very quick. That's why I like to give him the credit because it's not easy to move on Lautaro Martinez to play every single game to not even playing a single minute on semifinal. That's a big statement. And I think that he knows that he has to make the decisions and he takes it. And I was seeing that one of the comments that they sent us, and I saw Carl mentioning that it's true, Lautaro and Higuain. I have to say that Higuain is a very similar player like Alvarez. He's one of those players who is always ready to the run. He's ready, but maybe physically or maybe the age that the way they've been playing with Argentina, they are totally different. They are different moments, but he's a very similar player. And I think the understanding between Higuain and Lionel Messi was actually very good. With Lautaro, it's different. Lautaro is a player who is more to be near the box. He doesn't do that as many runs or he does as many efforts as Julian Alvarez. So I would love to see them both a little bit more to see if this is the perfect partnership. Fingers crossed or not, so. Because that would mean that
maybe just one more game.
One more game. No, I love what you both said about the willingness of the running. I think this is a Julian Alvarez as well, who's coming into this Argentine national team at the right time. Let's remember, this is an Argentina team that they're Copa America defending champions. There's that championship feel in the teams of the past. Is Julian Alvarez a better player than Higuain was? Tevez? I mean, these are Crespo. The jury's still out. He's a young player. I mean, you have to remember who Lionel Messi has played with. Some world-class strikers who have done it at the club level and at different times have done it with the national team. But I think he's a beneficiary and he's seizing his moment.